So in what capacity was Nationstar foreclosing? As a servicer? Or?
Servicers don't have the right to foreclose, but they do.
But they do. That's what I'm getting
They
at.
win every case. You can't win.
It's just insane.
And my tenants are up for a lease renewal, so I really don't need this
Right. So
crap.
just go to your tenants and if you want and say, listen, I'm buying this. I still own the property. You do. You still own the property.
Okay, and I would also, could you please CC me on the letter to Westcott so I can show my tenants? Because they're taking me at my word.
I'll do a letter right now that says you still own the property.
There's no need for you to be buying this back because the whole thing that happened initially was that they lied, Nationstar lied and said you had not provided all your documentation for your application.
I have all the proof that I did.
Right, so that set things into a tailspin, and you got confused, and they, offered you this streamlined modification, but it was very confusing, and then they foreclosed within 2 weeks or so after you missed the payment.
But I didn't even technically, I had till September 30th.
That's what they said, right.
Yeah. So this is, anyway, I'm sorry that this has been going on for you, but you guys, I do have something, a legal paper. I'm going to scan it into my computer tomorrow at work, and then I'll leave it under your door. Okay. So you have that to rely on.
Sounds good.
Okay. And I'm really sorry about this.
Don't worry about it.
It's been hell.
we haven't had to deal with the brunt of it. So.
Other than the alarm of what's going on, and they're talking about eviction or something, right? Yeah.
And I understand you're going to file...
See you later, Martha.
Bye.
Take care now.
It's nice talking to you.
As well. And I understand now that you're going to file a complaint with the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau?
Absolutely.
And you feel like you've been dual-tracked or targeted?
Absolutely. And I think they're trying to pull a fast one, but I absolutely think I have all of the things that have happened in my case are consistent with what else I've read about what dual tracking is. And I think I've been preyed upon.
Richard Cordray is the director there, and one of his henchmen, Kent Marcus, those are all guys I worked with at the Attorney General's office. And Kent Marcus's mother was in the secretary pool that I, when I was a law clerk. And then Kent Marcus made sure that I got hired at the Attorney General's office years ago. So you're in good hands. They should take your complaint seriously. And I will personally write them as well and let them know that you're out there with this. Hopefully they'll just rescind the fraudulent sale.
Absolutely.
And set you back where you need to be because you're solvent now.
I am. I've done everything to get to this point, and I really need this to work out.
Thank you. Now, one more thing. I just realized you're dealing with Harmon Law offices. Do you know about them?
They don't seem to be very responsible. I don't know. What do I need to know about them?
Well, you need to know that Harmon himself used to work with David Stern down there in Florida.
Okay.
And one of the most corrupt, legal regimes ever. He's disbarred, I believe. There were investigations, lots of robo-signatures, false chains of title, anything he could do to steal a home, he did.
Wow.
And there was another attorney, I forget his name, he's over in Boston, but he basically sued Stern in Jewish court and got a judgment against him there. He wanted to shame him specifically, and I believe he won that case against Stern, and Harmon comes from that same tree, fruits of the same poisonous tree.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow.
And I believe your attorney, George Babcock, has a lot of the bogus signatures that Stern had issued over the years. But I think he got away with it one way or another. That's how it goes when you have Lanny Brewer and Eric Holder as prosecutors. They couldn't indict a ham sandwich when they needed to.
Well, that just makes me more upset. It's been the most frustrating and exhausting process I've ever been through. And I grew up in the DC area. I'm used to bureaucracy. I'm used to red tape. I went to the University of Maryland when there was 40,000 students. I know how to watch out for myself. I know how to keep track of things. I did not see this coming at all. I feel like I've been totally played.
You may have been. Good afternoon.
Hi.
What's your name?
Martha Brunzos.
And Ms. Brunzos, what are you doing today?
I just came from my attorney's office. I've been pursuing his help in trying to rescind a foreclosure, what I consider to be an unfair and potentially illegal foreclosure of my property on September 16th.
I understand you bought this home originally in 2001.
Yes, I bought it on June 7th, 2001. It was 2 days before I went to labor with my daughter. It's a nice old 3-family. We fixed it up to use rental income to be able to stay home and take care of my daughter. And I've owned it the entire time. I've been managing it as a landlord and property owner since 2006. And I fell into some hard times with the human service agency I worked for that had to pull the plug on a program with 30 days notice, and I had to go set up my own private practice at that time. In that first year of my private practice, I was able to carry my clients over and make enough for my overhead in my business, but not enough for my household. I fell behind on my rent.
And I understand
my mortgage.
And I understand though that at that time, this was the downfall of the downturn in your business was occasioned by the economic downturn, which was in turn occasioned because of the banking and mortgage scandal.
Absolutely.
So after that time, you eventually came to apply for HAMP.
Yep.
And you had Nationstar as your servicer and purported owner.
Yes.
Okay, so you were told that you had not provided all your documentation.
Yes, I was told that in a letter in July. I had emailed back and forth with the loan specialist that was handling my refi paperwork, and I had all of my ducks in a row. I logged on the website. There was a green light on every document that they had it. There was no reason to be turned down at that point for not having my documents in. And they never told me what documents they didn't have. Anytime before that, they would tell me what they needed.
And so as a result of that, you eventually got confused, and at some point they offered you what's called a streamline mod.
Yeah, I thought, okay, that's it. I got denied. What am I going to do? And I moved my office and I joined a group where I was able to get a lot more referrals. I turned my 3rd floor into an Airbnb and did everything I could to secure more income to stabilize my position as a property owner and to get up to...
Sure. Then you're solvent.
I am right now, but I'm not being treated as such.
Yeah, and you're not even trying to sue them. You just want them to rescind this foreclosure.
That's right.
And so what they're claiming is that you did not respond in time to the trial payment plan period.
There were so many things coming in the mail at me at that time. I missed it. It was on the 2nd page of some document. There was so much coming at me. I had no idea what it was. I didn't know that there was some deadline for September 1st being my first payment. I didn't know that I had to tell them by August 26th. That was apparently in one piece of paper in the midst of like multiple mailings.
And then there was something else online you told me earlier. You and your boyfriend both saw it that indicated that the payment should be made on or before the 30th of September.
I went to my account online with Nationstar, which is how, ever since they took over my mortgage, that's how I've been managing my account, making my payments online. So I went online and it said it was due by September 30th.
So at this point, though, I understand all you want to do is just a rescission. You're not trying to sue them. You're solvent and you just want to stay in the home, and you don't know why you're getting all this rigmarole.
No, I don't. And I don't know why my tenants are getting threatened with eviction. I just had to take care of that with the attorney today as well.
Yeah, and because you are the titled owner still.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, none of the
documents. I had to get documentation to show them that I'm still the owner right now.
Yeah, and none of the documents, the sale papers have not been recorded with the city.
No.
Okay, well, we'll follow up on this. We'll get this video right out, Ms. Brosnos.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. This is one of the rooms of your Airbnb.
Yes, this is me in my living room of my Airbnb, which is now a bedroom of sorts. But I can sleep 6 people here, and I've been making enough to cover what normally I would get in rent. It's a lot more work, but I'm turning a asset into income for me right now.
Indeed. And so you're solvent, and you just want to stay in the home. And I think part of the reason you're so confused and upset is because you've learned that Nationstar as a servicer doesn't technically have the right to foreclose on you in the first place.
No.
The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nubs. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner. The revolution will not be televised, brother.
As long as our guy proceeds. Mr. King, we're at your mercy.
Are you out of the home now?
No. I sent a notice to the sheriff that he has, his oath is that to protect and serve me. And I would be very unhappy and disappointed if he puts me out of my home.
Nationstar, yes. We were told it's being dismissed. We get there, review the file. There's a dismissal, right? But it doesn't say whether or not it's with prejudice. So all she does, she writes a request for clarification. She says, is it with prejudice or not? Well, as a result of this, allegedly, then she's now reopened the entire case. And it doesn't make any sense. You know, I practiced for about 8-9 years. And I'm like, how does that reopen the whole case? She just wanted clarification. So yeah, she's still doing this tightrope dance again every day. She has no security. She's raised a family. She's done all these things. She's in the twilight of her years. And here she is, strung out in this court system. It's not cool.
Other questions?
One other part of the statement I want to make is that when the banks intentionally refuse to comply with federal and state laws requiring proof of the loan, they are intentionally committing felonies. And government officials have a responsibility when that's brought to their attention.
You know, you have a lot of vested interest in mortgage-backed securities, which a lot of those are garbage in, garbage out anyway. All right? Because a lot of the subprimes were tied into that. So it's a mess. But it's something that this committee needs to look into assiduously, because it's only going to get worse if you don't take action.